All right, Kenman here, and we have a Kunwu in the house. Today's unboxing is gonna be a fun one. Before we start, I'm not usually sponsored by anyone. Purchase everything at retail price, and I do these videos because I love discussing knives and sharing info and ideas with others. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to comment below. As I said, usually not sponsored, but today we are looking at another knife from the Mr. Eddie collection. Check out in the description, I've got a link to his Instagram. He is a knife maker and collector and has graciously loaned me about a dozen knives to kind of look at, review, check out. All of them are definitely knives that I wouldn't have otherwise maybe been able to get. But it's cool that I've got them all, and I appreciate Mr. Eddie. Check out his channel. And like I said, he also does make knives. Like this one right here. So it might be worth it to go see what Mr. Eddie is all about. All right. So we have a Kunwu here today. I am excited. I've been wanting to check this knife out for a while. Let's get into it. Boom, we've got a nice card, certificate of authenticity, little silica, and there's the knife in a nice little bag. Cool little box. Got the magnet close on there. Mini bag on the floor. All right, there it is. The Kunwu Padre. Oh, man, this thing is rad. So, Mr. Eddie, like I said, his collection is pretty big, and I went through and picked out some that I wanted to check out. I've been wanting to look at the Padre for a while. It's an expensive knife, so with that in mind, and Kunwu isn't something that you can just go into normal stores and find one. It's a little bit harder for me to get a hold of it and check it out. So I appreciate Mr. Eddie for sending this one out for sure. They do make a full lefty version. This is clearly the standard righty version, but the lefty version, the lock and the clip would all be on the other side. And we will talk about why that is so awesome in a moment here. But yeah, let's check this out real quick. Kunwu Padre. Oh, I'm bumping the world. Let's zoom out a little bit. And now we're kind of swinging. Sorry about that. But yeah, this knife is cool. It's a beast. Big old thick blade. Action is excellent. That front flipper flips it out really good. So what are we looking at? The Kunwu Padre, it's got the diamond textured titanium handle. Very cool. Vanex blade steel. And I believe it's 60 to 62 HRC. Got a stone washed kind of finish on this one. They have a few different styles, but this one's all kind of gray stone wash out. It's got that accented pivot, but very clean kind of a look. Drop shut. Got that front flipper that works really good. Obviously a frame lock, so the lock covers the whole frame there. Hole is easy for flicking out. I am not really good at. Oh, and when I push on the thumb, and now I'm pushing against that liner lock. I'm like, why is that not working? Same kind of thing here. If I want to flick it out with my left hand, the reason I would get the lefty version is because comfortable spot, put your thumb right on that lock. I go to flick it out. Can't flick it out. If I just kind of grab here, get my thumb off of that lock, it flicks out effortless. So it's putting that pressure on that lock is preventing you from doing that flick out action, which is what my favorite is. So in the right hand, flick out is easy, but thumbing it out is difficult because of that, which is kind of strange. But the front flipper is effortless on this knife. Yeah, this thing is just cool. So let's look at some of the close-up stuff. We've got some nice jimps right there. Kind of a weird harpoon, tonto, mad, crazy blade shape. But it kind of, the jimps kind of ride up. Your thumb can kind of sit up on there. And then on that choke up spot, oh, just feels really good. There's also kind of some jimps across the back spacer. But yeah, feels really nice in the hand. Excellent. The titanium with the diamond texture, it's probably one of my favorites. It just feels great. Looks great. Yeah, so detent. Pretty close to the end, but it is solid. The front flipper, I don't think you could fail that if you wanted to. It's just so high up above the pivot. I mean, it's the higher up it is, the easier it is to kind of get. And you just barely kind of give that a push, and it's like, if you want a front flipper that works every time, the Padre is probably it. Flick out action does feel really nice too. Blade is solid. Why wouldn't it be? All the way around. Do you enjoy these unboxings of other people's knives that I get to check out? Kind of sponsored videos. If you do, hit that like button. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Who has a Kunwu? Which one do they like? I really like a Django. I'd like to get one of those. Padre has kind of been one that I've always wanted, just because it does have that full lefty version. And just to get that in my hands and be able to flick it out lefty style would be excellent, but I'd have to save up for that. Yeah, we'll see. Blade centering. Of course, it's right in the middle, as it should be. Nice close-up shots of the whole thing. That blade. What do you call that blade shape? Handle's got this little natural curve to it, kind of forces your finger there, but in this particular case, this first bump is small enough that the second, everything else kind of falls underneath it, and then that choke up spot, it sits in there very comfortably. Very nice. Let's zoom in here. Oh, try not to get us all swinging. Get some measurements. This is about 8 inches exactly, tip to tip. Blade could be considered 3 3/8 there, but they could also call it 4. Oh, so it goes to there. It just depends on who wants to yell out the measurement. I'd say I call that about a 3.5 inch blade with a 3 1/4 inch cutting surface with a nice little curved belly to it. Handle, wow, is about 4 3/4. It's a pretty long handle. Let's do some thickness. So the blade is pretty thick at that thickest point, 0.14. A lot of blades will be between 11 and 12 in that average kind of standard everyday carry, kind of mid to close to full size knife. So this being 0.14 is pretty thick. Handles can usually get around to 0.5, so 0.53, a little bit thicker than normal, but not bad, really. It's a beefer. I dig this. Ooh. Keep forgetting I can't flick it out with the left. There's the satisfaction. Oh, I gotta zero out this scale. And 5.16, it's kind of a little bit of a pig. I do a comparison of everything with the Pyrite. Pyrite weighs 3.67. So again, this one's 5.17, but it is definitely a bigger knife than the Pyrite. Kind of considered more of a full size. Pyrite is a really nice knife from CJRB, kind of mid, not quite full size knife, but a really nice button lock. Works really well. I use it for pretty much all my comparisons. It's a pretty common knife that everyone is pretty familiar with the size. So it looks like the Padre is a 1/2 inch or so bigger in the handle and maybe a 1/4 inch or more on the blade length. If you look at the cutting surface, it's actually pretty close. Still has it beat by a good 1/4 inch or so. It's just has so much more presence this way and size. I could get up really quick, compare it to the Frack, which is kind of a bigger Pyrite, and the Frack then kind of dwarfs down that Padre a little bit, so it kind of puts it back in its size place. It's a little bit bigger the same way the Pyrite was a little bit smaller, but the Kunwu was still thicker that way than than on the frac. What else I have? I would say something that's kind of a comparable shape size would be the Towser K from Kaiser. A little different, yes, but kind of a similar curve of the handle, a little spot where you're notching in your index finger, and then the blade shape, it's kind of the same. So if you're looking for like something in more of a budget-friendly version of a similar knife, look at the action on this. It is really nice. Drops shut really well, flicks out effortless, and because the lock is a liner lock, this is a liner lock, that's a frame lock. I don't remember what I said before. I apologize. But that means it's all buried in here, so there's nothing. You can put pressure on anywhere, and it doesn't make a difference. And you could buy 5 or 6 of these for the price of that one right there. Towser is a really nice knife. I actually have another Towser. This was the White Mountain knife exclusive. It's in titanium, so that titanium frag kind of makes it a little bit more comparable to the titanium with the diamond on the Padre. But if you want to check this one out, right up there, I just did the unboxing for it. It's got a clutch lock to it, so it is a little bit different. But slightly more budget friendly if you're looking for something you can't quite get that Padre. Who's got a Kunwu? Check out Mr. Eddie. His link is down at the bottom. Stay sharp. I'll see you soon.